Hello and welcome to the Tools for Motherhood activity series. In this activity today, we're going to be taking a look at a pre-math activity for children 2 to 3 years of age. And the name of this activity is called Compare and Contrast. In this bowl, we have various objects that are alike and that are different. Lots of different colors, although they all seem to be round, they do have characteristics that are different. So in today's activity, we're going to be looking at the goal of this activity is to model for our child sorting objects that are alike and that are different. Okay, so the materials that you're going to be needing are different types. You can use cereal that has an assortment of shapes or sizes or colors in it. You could use something like a trail mix or a snack mix. Various bowls for sorting. Um, I also have something else that I'm going to show you here that is another way of sorting. Also some typing paper, ruler, and some markers. Okay, to go ahead and get started, I'm going to show you just a sheet of paper here that I have done on the computer. Actually, I just did a table on a Word document and created something that has lines all the way across that looks like a grid. So I've got larger sizes, and then once again, I've got smaller ones as well, depending on the size of the objects that we're going to be working with. All right, next, this has only one characteristic, a goldfish cracker. They all look the same, they're all the same color. So that would not be, it'd be a fun snack, but it would not be necessarily good for this activity. You want something that has variation, something like this. The Fruit Loops, some type of a colored loop is really good for this particular activity. You can use bowls, or something else that I'm using today is an egg carton. So on the one side, I have dumped in there about a cupful of an assortment of the colorful loops. On the other side, I don't know if you can see it, but I have separated out the different colors, and that's where we're heading with this particular activity. Your child will have on this side uh, or on a cookie sheet or a plate or something like that, and then various bowls that they have to separate the colors in. So you can show how the red would go in one spot, the yellow would go in another, the green would all be separated into another side, purple ones would go down here, and the blue ones would go here. Once you have those separated, next you're going to use your grid paper, and you can have your child line up. Let's see if I can do this. Line up the various Fruit Loops in the line depending on how many they have. For example, the blue one, we don't have very many, but the orange one, we have quite a few more. So what I'm doing is I'm putting all of the same colors in the same row. Green ones, we've got even more. So what we're doing is we're just filling one shape inside each one of the squares. So we're separating them out. All right, of these, which one do I have the most of? You can talk about the most. Which one do I have the least of? How many? I wonder how many more I have to add. Depending on the age of your child, you could vary the activity and ask them how many more you would have to add here to make them even. And they can experiment with that. They may know the number. Well, actually, those need to be blue, but I don't have any more blue. You can either, or just fill in the amount with the color of cereal. All right, so you will continue on with separating those things out, drawing, using and making lines or filling in each of the grid with it's one-to-one correspondence, one piece of cereal in one square. So cereal could be something that could be used, or you could try something else. Also at the grocery store, you can find different shapes of macaroni. And what I did is I colored the macaroni noodles into different colors. And again, it's just another great example of being able to have something to separate. You can either use the egg carton, or once again, you can use your grid paper to separate out the different colors to find out how many you have of each one. Oh, okay. All right. I can stop at any time, but I'm also having fun. All right, so here's an example of how that's done. The older the child, the smaller the graph you could use, but the younger the child, the larger the squares you would use and the larger pieces you would use for them to manipulate. If you can find pop bottle, the lids of those I used to use years ago with my first graders, and we're talking over 30 years ago as a teacher. Those were the only manipulatives we had at the time. That was before all the little teddy bears and all the other cool things, but we just had to use, again, free things that we could find for manipulatives for children. So those would be some examples of ways to look at modeling, sorting objects into things that are alike and that are different. Thanks for watching. If you would like more ideas, please check out our toolsformotherhood.com website. Happy learning!